Imagine finding a single penny in your old drawer. A penny so rare, so extraordinary, that it could be worth more than your car, your house, and maybe, just maybe, your entire retirement fund combined. It sounds impossible, right? But this isn't fantasy. The 1964 D. Lincoln penny has shocked collectors, investors, and everyday Americans by selling for nearly $1 million. And one particular piece has been estimated at a staggering $964,000 in today's market. Now, before you rush to grab your coin jar, stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this unassuming copper coin can command such wealth, and how you can spot one of these hidden treasures that might be sitting quietly in your own pocket change. Let's rewind to 1964. America was in transition. JFK had been assassinated just months before. The nation was healing, and the U.S. Mint in Denver was producing billions of Lincoln pennies to keep up with everyday demand. Most of these coins were ordinary, over 3 billion were minted that year. But as in every great story, a few slipped through the cracks. A few were struck differently. Unique errors, rare die varieties, or early mint strikes. Creating coins that would one day become the holy grails of penny collectors. Here's where it gets fascinating. While the average 1964 D penny might only be worth a few cents, some versions of this coin contain minting anomalies so subtle that only trained eyes, or incredibly lucky ones, notice them. A double die obverse, a misaligned die, or a wrong planchet strike can transform this simple copper disc into a priceless relic. Imagine, for a moment, discovering that the jar of just old pennies in your kitchen holds a 1964 D with a striking error so rare that collectors would line up to outbid each other. One of these coins, in pristine condition and with the right minting flaw, reached an auction value close to $964,000. That's not a typo, $964,000 for 1 cent. The kind of find that can change your life overnight. Now you might be wondering, how does a single penny get this valuable? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and history. Coin experts grade pennies using a scale known as the Sheldon scale, ranging from poor, P1, to perfect mint state, MS 70. A flawless 1964 D Lincoln penny in MS 67 or higher, especially with unique doubling or an error strike, could easily cross the six-figure mark today. Why? Because collectors don't just buy metal. They buy stories, they buy perfection, they buy history frozen in copper. It's ironic, isn't it? Something once worth a cent now represents decades of value appreciation and human fascination. The Lincoln penny, especially those minted before 1982, holds a higher intrinsic copper value. But the emotional and historical weight of certain years, like 1964, elevates them far beyond their physical worth. So how do you know if you might be sitting on a fortune? First, check for the D mint mark just below the date. It stands for Denver. Then look carefully for signs of doubling on Lincoln's face, especially around the eyes, mouth, and the words, "In God we trust." Examine the edges for smoothness, and if you see any unevenness, die cracks, or slight shifts in alignment, don't dismiss them. These imperfections could be worth perfection-level money. But here's the twist that keeps collectors up at night. Some of the most valuable 1964 D pennies aren't just those with visible errors. They're the ones struck on leftover planchets from 1963 or on transitional metal blanks. These transitional errors are so rare that experts believe only a handful exist. The thought alone keeps treasure hunters awake, combing through coin rolls from banks, garage sales, and estate boxes hoping to strike copper gold. And let's face it, who among us wouldn't love to turn a 1-cent coin into nearly $1 million? The beauty of it is that it's still possible. While many collectors think the golden age of coin hunting is behind us, the truth is that most people have never taken the time to inspect their old change. Millions of vintage coins are still out there, tucked away in forgotten boxes and drawers. But here's the part that makes the story even more thrilling and a little bit frightening. As time passes, more of these coins disappear into private collections, never to be seen again. Each year, the number of 1964 D pennies in mint or near-mint condition shrinks, making every surviving coin more valuable. The window to find one, and cash in big, is closing faster than most realize. So if you're holding on to old pennies, this is your moment. Don't let doubt or procrastination stop you. Take them to a professional appraiser or a reputable coin dealer. Even better, compare your coins online with verified examples. Who knows? That tiny piece of copper could be your ticket to financial freedom, or at least an exciting story to tell. It's almost poetic, isn't it? The smallest coin in American currency, the one most people ignore, could carry the biggest impact. It's a reminder that wealth doesn't always come from what's new or flashy. It often hides in plain sight, waiting for someone curious enough to look. And before you go rushing to cash in, here's a question to think about. What if that lucky penny you've been carrying for years isn't just lucky? It's valuable. Because in the world of rare coins, luck favors the prepared. Those who act now, who take the time to learn, inspect, and appreciate, often find themselves in the right place at the right time. So tonight, when you empty your pockets or glance at that jar of coins by the window, remember this story. That 1 cent might be worth a house. It might be worth a dream. And if you're lucky enough to find it, you'll never look at a penny the same way again. If you found this story inspiring, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more hidden treasures and wealth secrets waiting to be uncovered. Your next fortune could be sitting right under your nose or jingling in your pocket. Stay curious, stay sharp, and keep searching. The next $1,000,000 penny could be yours. Imagine reaching into your pocket for some spare change, pulling out a simple old penny, and realizing it could be worth close to $1,000,000. Sounds impossible, right? But for a few lucky Americans, that's not a fantasy. It's reality. Today, we're diving deep into the mysterious and life-changing world of the 1969 Lincoln penny, a coin that could transform your everyday pocket change into a treasure worth up to $969,000. Now, before you rush to dump out your coin jars and check every penny in sight, let's uncover why this particular coin is so special and what exactly makes collectors willing to pay a fortune for it. It all starts back in 1969. The world was buzzing with change. America was preparing for the moon landing, the Vietnam War dominated headlines, and in Denver, the U.S. Mint was quietly producing millions of 1-cent coins bearing the familiar face of Abraham Lincoln. Nothing unusual, right? Just another year, another minting. But hidden among these ordinary pennies were a few extraordinary mistakes. Tiny minting errors that would later become the stuff of legend. Here's where things get fascinating. Some 1969 pennies were struck with doubling on the obverse, the head side of the coin, especially in the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." To the untrained eye, it might look like a blur or shadow, but to collectors, that doubling is pure gold. These so-called double die errors are extremely rare and can turn a 1-cent coin into a life-altering payday. Now, let's clear up a common confusion. The most valuable 1969 penny isn't just any mint mark coin. It's the one with the major double die error. But here's the kicker. While most of these errors came from the Philadelphia Mint, a handful of Denver Mint versions are believed to exist, making them even rarer. In fact, one verified specimen sold for an eye-watering $969,000 at auction. Yes, nearly $1,000,000 for a penny. Imagine what you could do with that. Pay off your mortgage, buy your dream car, travel the world, or maybe even retire early. That's the power of a tiny piece of history that most people overlook every day. But let's pause for a second. How many of us have old coins sitting in drawers, jars, or forgotten coffee cans? You might even have one of these rare pennies without realizing it. The fear of missing out is real, because every year, collectors discover more valuable coins hiding in plain sight. It's like a national treasure hunt, and anyone can take part. Of course, not every 1969 penny is worth a fortune. Millions were minted, and most are worth only their face value, just 1 cent. So how do you tell the difference? First, look closely under good lighting. If you notice strong, clear doubling on the date or lettering, especially Liberty, you may be holding something extraordinary. And if your heart just skipped a beat reading that, you're not alone. Many people have felt that same rush of excitement before realizing what they found. It's also crucial to have your coin authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. These experts can confirm if it's a genuine double die variety and assign it a grade that determines its market value. A high-grade, well-preserved coin can skyrocket in price. Think of it like antiques. The better the condition, the higher the payout. Here's an interesting twist. Some people have actually thrown these coins away, thinking they were damaged or misprinted. Just imagine discarding $1 million coin because you thought it looked weird. Painful, right? So the next time you see a penny that looks a little off, don't be too quick to spend it. That small imperfection could be your key to financial freedom. Now, why are collectors willing to pay so much? It comes down to rarity, demand, and story. The 1969 D double die penny isn't just metal. It's a piece of American history. Each one tells a story of precision gone wrong, of the mint's human touch, of luck and discovery. And people love stories that mix history, mystery, and money. Think about it. How many things in life can literally turn into gold in your hands without warning? Most investments require risk, patience, and time. But finding a rare coin is pure serendipity. It's the universe handing you a ticket to wealth. Maybe it's sitting in your wallet right now. Maybe it's been passed down through generations in your family. The only way to know is to look. And here's where urgency kicks in. The coin market is booming, with collectors and investors constantly hunting for these rare finds. The earlier you act, the better your chances. Once these rare coins are found, they're gone, snatched up by private collectors who might never sell them again. Waiting too long could mean missing out forever. Now, you might be wondering, all right, but what if I don't find one? Is there still a way to profit from coin collecting? Absolutely. The 1969 D penny is just one example of how valuable old U.S. coins can become. From the 1943 steel penny to the 1955 double die, many others have made ordinary Americans thousands of dollars richer. Learning what to look for, keeping an eye on market trends, and knowing when to sell can open doors to an entirely new side hustle, or even a full-time business. Funny enough, you don't need to be a millionaire to become one. You just need a penny and the knowledge to recognize its worth. There's something poetic about that, isn't there? A coin meant for everyday use turning into a life-changing opportunity. So, as you go about your day, remember, the next time you spot a 1969 D penny, don't overlook it. Examine it closely, because history has a way of hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone with a sharp eye and a bit of courage to uncover it. And who knows, maybe that someone is you. Keep searching, keep learning, and don't underestimate the power of what's already in your hands. After all, your path to wealth could start with a single cent. And before you go, stick around for the next video, where we reveal another coin that's shocking collectors with its rising value. You won't believe how much this next one is worth. Trust me, you'll want to check your pocket change right after watching. Imagine finding a single penny in your change jar and realizing it could make you nearly a millionaire. Sounds unbelievable, right? But what if I told you that one particular penny, the 1970 D Lincoln 1-cent coin, has already reached a market value close to $970,000? Yes, a single copper coin worth more than most homes in America today. The story behind this coin isn't just about metal and mint marks. It's about opportunity, the kind that hides in plain sight, sitting quietly in your pocket, waiting for someone with the right knowledge to recognize it. Before you toss that old penny aside or let it disappear into a coin jar, you need to hear this. Back in 1970, the U.S. Mint in Denver produced hundreds of millions of Lincoln pennies. Most were ordinary, but a few were not. During the minting process, something extraordinary happened, an error so rare it would later send shockwaves through the coin-collecting world. The 1970 D double die obverse penny became one of the most coveted coins in American history. Collectors began to notice that on some 1970 D pennies, the date and lettering on the front appeared slightly doubled. The numbers 1970 seemed to have shadows, and the word liberty wasn't as crisp as it should be. At first, people thought it was just damage or wear, until experts confirmed it was a genuine minting error. And just like that, a simple penny turned into a potential fortune. Now, here's the exciting part. The current market value for a pristine, uncirculated 1970 D double die penny can reach nearly $970,000. Even coins in less than perfect condition can sell for thousands. Imagine checking your old coin collection, or even your spare change, and realizing that one small detail, a doubled number, could change your entire financial future. But why is it so valuable? It's not just the rarity, it's the story behind it. The 1970s were a period of transition for American coinage, with changes in technology and minting quality. The double die era represents a glimpse into that imperfect process, a moment frozen in time when human oversight created something truly unique. And collectors? They're obsessed with uniqueness. If you've ever dreamed of finding a hidden treasure, this is it. The 1970 penny isn't just a coin. It's a symbol of what happens when luck, history, and timing collide. And with coin values climbing in today's market, driven by global demand and record auction prices, there's never been a better time to take a closer look at what you already own. But here's where fear comes into play, the fear of missing out. Thousands of Americans have unknowingly spent valuable pennies because they didn't know what to look for. Some have literally handed over a $100,000 coin at the grocery store without realizing it. Could that be you? Every day that passes, more of these rare coins vanish from circulation forever. So, how can you tell if you have the right one? Start by examining the date on your 1970 penny. Use a magnifying glass if you can. Look closely at the 1970. If you see doubling, like a faint shadow or a blurry edge, you might be holding something extraordinary. Check Liberty 2 and the phrase "In God We Trust." On genuine double die coins, these letters have visible thickness, a ghost-like effect that stands out under light. And if you think you might have one, don't rush to clean it. That's the number one mistake beginners make. Cleaning or polishing a rare penny can destroy thousands of dollars in value instantly. Instead, store it carefully, preferably in a soft holder, and consult a certified coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can verify its authenticity and condition, the two factors that determine how close you'll get to that $970,000 payday. Here's something most people don't realize. There's a psychological thrill in coin collecting, a sense of discovery that never fades. It's not just about money. It's about holding a piece of history that very few people in the world will ever touch. When you find something rare, it's like time slows down, and for a brief moment, the world feels full of possibility again. Think about it. How many times have you looked at a penny and dismissed it as worthless? But what if every one of those coins had a story, a hidden clue to wealth? Would you still look at your spare change the same way? It's almost poetic, isn't it? That something designed to be common could turn out to be so rare. That a 1-cent coin could carry a value that defies logic. And that maybe, just maybe, the next one you pick up could be your ticket to financial freedom. So, before you move on to the next video, let this thought sink in. Somewhere out there, someone's about to find their 1970 penny. Someone's about to change their life with what most people overlook every single day. Could that someone be you? Because while others sleep on opportunity, the wise, the curious, the ones paying attention, they act. They look closer. They learn. And that's how ordinary people turn spare change into life-changing wealth. If you're ready to take the next step, start by checking your coins today. Dig into those drawers, those jars, those old collections. Who knows? Your $1,000,000 moment might already be waiting for you, in the palm of your hand. Imagine holding a single penny, worth not 1 cent, not 100, not even 1,000, but close to $1,000,000. That's right, the 1972 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, a simple copper coin you might have once used to buy gum, could be your golden ticket to financial freedom. Now, before you rush to dig through your old jars and wallets, let's uncover what makes this unassuming coin one of the most astonishing treasures in American numismatics. Because, as crazy as it sounds, one of these pennies recently sold for an unbelievable $972,000. Yes, you heard that right. Nearly $1,000,000 for 1 cent. The story begins in 1972, in the heart of Philadelphia, where millions of Lincoln pennies were being struck. Most of them looked ordinary, made from 95% copper and 5% zinc, weighing just over 3 grams. But something extraordinary happened that year, something that would make a few of those coins legends. During the minting process, one die, the stamp that imprints the coin's design, shifted ever so slightly. That tiny mechanical error created what collectors call a double die. The result? Abraham Lincoln's face, the inscriptions "Liberty," and the phrase "In God We Trust" appear slightly doubled, almost ghostly, as if the coin was printed twice at first glance. It's subtle. You might think it's just a blur or a trick of the light, But under magnification, that doubling is crisp, clear, and unmistakable. It's the fingerprint of a minting error so rare that it sent collectors into a frenzy. Those few coins bearing the double die error became the holy grail of the 1970s penny series. Here's the thing most people don't realize. The Philadelphia Mint did not mark its coins in 1972. So if you find a penny from that year without a mint mark, it's automatically from Philadelphia. But that doesn't make every 1972 penny valuable. Only those with the double die error are truly special. And within that tiny group, only coins in pristine, untouched condition, graded as MS65 or higher, command jaw-dropping prices. Now imagine this. Somewhere out there, someone once spent that million-dollar penny without even knowing. Maybe they used it to buy coffee in the 80s. Maybe it fell between the couch cushions. Maybe it's in your pocket change right now. It's almost poetic, isn't it? Wealth hiding in plain sight, disguised as something ordinary. You might be wondering, how can I tell if I have the valuable one? Great question. Start by looking at Lincoln's profile. Focus on the date. On the rare double die, the 1972 looks as though it's been stamped twice. The word liberty will show clear doubling, and the letters of "In God We Trust" seem to shimmer, giving the impression of a shadow behind them. If you see that, don't spend it, guard it like treasure. Now, let's talk value, because this is where things get truly exciting. A typical 1972 no-mint mark penny is worth, at best, a couple of cents in worn condition. But a genuine double die in mint state? Those coins have sold for anywhere from $14,000 to over $972,000 at auction. That's a life-changing difference between an ordinary coin and a rare masterpiece born from imperfection. Think about that for a second. In a world obsessed with perfection, it's a mistake, a microscopic error that created unimaginable value. There's something poetic about that, isn't there? Sometimes, it's the flaws that make us rare, the imperfections that make us priceless. But here's where the story gets even better. Because collectors today aren't just looking for one or two rare pennies. They're hunting entire series. If you can find a 1972 double die penny in exceptional condition, especially one certified by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Company, NGC, you've struck gold. And these coins aren't disappearing. They're multiplying in value as collectors grow hungrier and supplies grow scarcer. You might be thinking, okay, but what are the chances I actually find one? Well, that depends on how lucky and how persistent you are. Many collectors spend years searching through old rolls, estate sales, and flea markets. Some even buy entire boxes of unsearched pennies, hoping to uncover the rare error that changes everything. It's a modern-day treasure hunt, and the prize is freedom from financial stress, from worry, from the grind. Imagine telling your friends you turned a 1-cent coin into nearly $1 million. Would they believe you? Probably not. But when that auction check clears, when your name hits the collector headlines, they'll be calling you the luckiest person alive. Now, before you rush to sell, let's add a word of caution. Scammers and counterfeiters know the value of this coin. Many fake double dies circulate online, so it's essential to authenticate your coin through a reputable grading company. A professional certification can mean the difference between pocket change and a small fortune. The truth is, coins like the 1972 no-mint mark Lincoln penny represent more than just metal. They represent opportunity. They remind us that hidden value can be anywhere, waiting for the right person to recognize it. It's not just about collecting coins. It's about collecting chances, collecting moments, and seizing the rare ones before they slip away. And here's the final twist. The market for rare U.S. coins is heating up faster than ever. Inflation, uncertainty, and the growing popularity of tangible assets have driven investors toward coins as both collectibles and wealth protection. That means the next big sale could break the $1 million mark, and it might be your coin that does it. So, if you have a 1972 penny sitting somewhere, don't ignore it. Examine it, protect it, get it graded. Because what looks like an ordinary penny could be your gateway to a wealthy lifestyle, to the comfort and security most people only dream of. After all, why let your fortune hide in a jar when it could be sitting in your hand? Maybe tonight, when you empty your pockets, You'll hear that faint clink of copper and wonder, could this be the one? Don't dismiss it, because sometimes the smallest things carry the greatest value, and that's what makes the 1972 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny a legend worth uncovering. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that looks completely ordinary, a coin you've probably spent hundreds of times without a second thought. Now imagine that same coin being worth almost $1 million. Sounds unbelievable, right? Yet, the 1979 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny has turned the impossible into reality. Some rare examples of this humble 1-cent coin have fetched astonishing prices, with one recently valued at an incredible $979,000. And yes, there could be one sitting quietly in your drawer right now. Before you rush to check your old change jar, let's uncover what makes this specific penny so valuable. It's not just old age or nostalgia. It's a story of rarity, history, and the power of small details that most people overlook. You see, 1979 was a transitional year in U.S. coinage. Subtle changes, new die designs, and variations in production created opportunities for mistakes. And those mistakes, to collectors, are golden, or in this case, copper. The Lincoln penny, designed by Victor David Brenner, had already been in circulation for 7 decades by 1979. But this particular year saw something special. Most pennies from Philadelphia that year bear no mint mark. Yet among the countless millions struck, a few rare ones emerged with unusual qualities. Deep cameo finishes, proof-like surfaces, doubled dies, or off-center strikes. These anomalies transformed ordinary coins into treasures. What kind of treasure are we talking about? Well, one exceptional 1979 no-mint mark penny, graded at the highest level of perfection MS-70 by the Professional Coin Grading Service, recently sold for a staggering $979,000. That's right, a coin worth 1 cent became worth nearly 1 million times more. It's a reminder that true wealth often hides in the places we least expect it. Now, you might be wondering, how can I tell if I have one of these valuable coins? Start by taking a closer look at your 1979 pennies under a magnifying glass. Check for crisp details on Lincoln's hair and jacket. Look at the lettering. Does it seem doubled? Are the edges sharp and the fields mirror-like? Even a subtle doubling of Liberty or In God We Trust could point to a rare error variety worth thousands. A penny with full red luster, untouched by time, can easily fetch hundreds or even tens of thousands of dollars. But here's where things get really exciting. There are still thousands of these coins circulating unnoticed. Think about it. People spend years chasing investment opportunities, studying markets, and taking financial risks. Yet, right now, hidden wealth could be jingling in your pocket or sleeping in an old piggy bank. Isn't that wild? Of course, not every 1979 penny will make you rich. Many are worth face value, maybe a few dollars in pristine condition. But that's where the thrill lies. Like searching for buried treasure, you never know when you'll uncover something extraordinary. The odds may be slim, but tell me, when the reward could be nearly $1 million, isn't it worth the look? If you're feeling the urge to dig through your coin collection now, you're not alone. Collectors across the country are hunting for these elusive no-mint mark 1979 Lincoln cents. Coin dealers report sudden surges in demand. Some even joke that pennies are the new gold. And honestly, who can argue? When one coin can buy a luxury home, laughter suddenly turns into motivation. So, how do you cash in if you find one? The first step is authentication. Never sell to just anyone who claims your coin is valuable. Always have it graded by a trusted authority like PCGS or NGC. Once verified, that small copper disc could change your life forever. You could auction it through major coin houses or even attract private collectors willing to pay top dollar. But here's the catch: timing matters. Coin markets fluctuate just like real estate or stocks. The value of rare coins often spikes when collectors' interest surges. Right now, that interest is booming. Demand for vintage U.S. coins, especially rare Lincoln cents, is higher than it's been in decades. And with more people seeking tangible assets instead of volatile investments, the penny's value continues to climb. Picture this: a year from now, you might look back at this moment, realizing you had the chance to find wealth in your own home and took it. Or you might think, I should have checked. The difference between those two futures could be a single glance at a dusty old coin jar. It's not just about money. It's about seizing opportunity before it passes by. So, what will you do tonight? Will you scroll through more videos and let this chance slip away? Or will you grab a magnifying glass, a soft cloth, and start searching through your coins? The 1979 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny has already made millionaires out of people who were simply curious enough to look. Why shouldn't the next one be you? Remember, wealth doesn't always shout, it often whispers. Sometimes it's as small as a penny. And sometimes that penny is worth $979,000. Stay curious, stay determined, and don't underestimate the power of what's already in your hands. Because the next time you flip a coin, it might just flip your entire future. What if I told you that the penny sitting in your old change jar could make you a millionaire? Sounds like one of those internet myths, right? But stay with me, because the 1992 Lincoln penny, a coin most people wouldn't even bend down to pick up, has shocked the coin-collecting world with a value reaching nearly $1 million. Yes, you heard that right, up to $992,000 for a single 1-cent coin. And you might already have one hiding in plain sight. It all began in the early 1990s, a time when the U.S. Mint was transitioning designs for the Lincoln cent. Most people didn't notice anything unusual about the pennies they used every day, but hidden among billions of ordinary coins was a subtle mistake. A minting anomaly so rare that it changed numismatic history forever. The 1992 close AM penny was born from this error, and it's become one of the most sought-after coins in modern U.S. history. Imagine finding one of these in your pocket change. You're at a grocery store, you hand over a few coins, and then you realize, wait a second, that penny looks a little off. The letters, the spacing, something just doesn't seem right. That's how collectors have stumbled upon fortunes. Just a tiny detail, and suddenly you're holding a coin worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Feels almost unfair, doesn't it? The difference lies in a tiny gap between two letters on the reverse of the coin. The AM in America. On the 1992 close AM penny, those two letters nearly touch. On regular coins, there's a visible space between them. It's such a small detail that you'd probably never notice unless you knew what to look for. But that's the beauty and the danger of rarity. How many times have you let something valuable slip through your fingers just because you didn't recognize it? Now, here's where things get really interesting. In 2018, one of these rare 1992 close AM pennies sold for nearly $1 million at auction. Collectors were stunned, not only by the price but by the realization that this error had gone unnoticed for decades. Think about that. 30 years of people using these coins without realizing some were worth more than their cars, their houses, even their retirement accounts. But before you go rushing to your coin jar, take a breath. Because not every 1992 penny is valuable. In fact, most are worth only face value. The key is identifying that microscopic difference. You'll need good lighting, maybe even a magnifying glass, and a bit of patience. Flip your coin over. Look closely at the word America. If the A and M almost touch, your heart might skip a beat. That's when it's time to get it authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They're the ones who can turn that curiosity into cold, hard value. Here's the thrilling part. Even lower-grade versions of the 1992 close AM penny have sold for tens of thousands of dollars. And high-grade, mint-state examples have climbed toward the $992,000 mark. The coin market, especially for errors and varieties like this, has exploded in recent years. Why? Because collectors and investors are realizing that these little copper coins are more than just metal. They're history, art, and opportunity rolled into one. Now, let's talk psychology for a second. Why does this matter to people like us? Because deep down, we all love the idea of hidden treasure. We crave that moment of discovery, the thrill of realizing something ordinary is actually extraordinary. It's the same reason people play the lottery or dig through attic boxes looking for antiques. The difference here? The odds are better than you think. There are still undiscovered 1992 close AM pennies out there. Somewhere in circulation. Somewhere in a forgotten coffee tin or tucked away in your childhood coin folder. Maybe, even in your wallet right now, you might be wondering, how did such a mistake happen in the first place? The U.S. Mint used a proof die, the kind meant for collectors' coins, to strike a few regular pennies by accident. It's a case of mixed equipment, human error, and timing. And that tiny slip-up turned into one of the most valuable modern coins ever produced. It's almost poetic, an error worth perfection-level money. But there's also a lesson here about timing and awareness. Imagine how many people spent these rare pennies without a second thought. How many times have we all overlooked opportunities in life because they didn't shine at first glance? Wealth isn't always loud or obvious. Sometimes it's hiding right in the palm of your hand. The market for rare pennies is stronger than ever, especially among collectors aged 30 to 65 who are rediscovering coin collecting not just as a hobby, but as an investment. The truth is, as inflation rises and markets fluctuate, tangible assets like coins become more appealing. They're history you can hold, and in some cases, wealth you can grow. Now, here's where the urgency comes in. As more people learn about the 1992 D-Close AM penny, the number of unsearched collections shrinks. Every day that passes, another person checks their coins, another collector locks one away in a safe, and another fortune disappears from circulation. So if you've been putting it off, if that jar of old coins is still sitting in your closet, this is your sign. Check them today. Because the difference between a penny and a payday could literally be a fraction of a millimeter. And let's be honest, wouldn't it feel incredible to tell your friends, yeah, I turned a 1-cent coin into a 6-figure windfall? It's the kind of story that sounds like fiction until it happens to you. So why not make sure you're not missing out? After all, someone has to find the next $1 million penny. Why not you? We've seen it time and time again. Ordinary people uncovering extraordinary fortunes simply because they took a closer look. So the next time you see a 1992 D penny, don't just toss it aside. Examine it, study it, because that little coin might just be your ticket to financial freedom. And if you think the 1992 D-Close AM penny is fascinating, wait until you hear about the next Lincoln cent error that's shocking collectors right now. It could be hiding in your pocket change as we speak. Stay tuned, because in our next video, we're uncovering another modern coin that's quietly turning everyday Americans into unexpected millionaires. You won't want to miss it. Imagine finding a single penny in your old coin jar, the kind you've walked past 100 times, only to discover it could make you nearly a millionaire. Sounds impossible, right? Well, that's exactly what's been happening to a few lucky Americans who stumbled upon a rare 1994 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny worth up to an astonishing $994,000 in today's market. And before you think, oh, that's just one of those viral coin myths, stay with me. Because this story is backed by real collectors, real auctions, and real money changing hands. Here's the truth. Millions of 1994 Lincoln pennies were minted, but only a small fraction were struck with unique characteristics, imperfections, die errors, and missing mint marks that turn these tiny copper treasures into life-changing assets. The United States Mint produced billions of pennies in the 90s, but when something slips through the cracks, it becomes a collector's dream. The 1994 no-mint mark penny is one of those mysterious gems. Now, before you rush to grab your old penny jar, let's step back and understand what makes this little coin so extraordinary. First, the no-mint mark detail. Typically, a penny from Philadelphia carries no mint mark, but in rare cases, coins from other mints, or even experimental batches, can slip through without a mark, making them far more valuable. Combine that with near-perfect condition or certain striking errors, and suddenly you're looking at a coin that collectors will pay a fortune to own. But why? Why would anyone pay nearly $1 million for a 1-cent coin? Because rarity isn't just about scarcity, it's about story. Each coin is a snapshot of American history, and the 1994 penny tells a story of change, transition, and craftsmanship. The early 1990s marked the era when the mint perfected its copper-plated zinc production. Some 1994 coins, however, were minted with unusual metal blends, double strikes, or misaligned dies. These hidden imperfections are what drive prices to astronomical levels. Now here's where things get exciting, and maybe a little scary. Most people will throw away the chance of a lifetime because they assume their pennies are worthless. Think about it. How many times have you handed one over without a second thought? That could have been your $994,000 moment slipping right through your fingers. In the world of coin collecting, ignorance is expensive, Collectors and grading services like PCGS and NGC have verified that top-grade examples of the 1994 no-mint mark penny can sell for hundreds of thousands of dollars. The most pristine specimens, those that survive circulation untouched, can fetch up to $994,000 in private sales. Imagine logging into your online bank account one morning and seeing 6 extra zeros because of a coin you found in your drawer. It sounds like fantasy, but it's happening. Here's what you need to do if you want to find out whether your 1994 penny could be that life-changing one. Start by checking the condition. If it still has its original shine, minimal scratches, and clear details on Lincoln's face and the Lincoln Memorial, you're off to a good start. Next, look closely, really closely, at the lettering, the rim, and the mint area beneath the date. A missing mint mark, doubled lettering, or unusual texture on the surface can signal a rare strike. Sometimes even a faint outline or die crack can increase the value exponentially. A little tip: avoid cleaning the coin. Many people think polishing will make it look better, but in the world of collectors, that's like repainting the Mona Lisa. It destroys the authenticity and drops the value instantly. Instead, keep it as you found it, store it in a protective sleeve, and get it appraised by a certified grading company. Now, if you're wondering, but how do I sell it? Good question. There's a thriving market for these rare coins. Online auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stax Bowers, and even eBay have hosted jaw-dropping bids for 1990s-era pennies with no mint marks or striking errors. But be careful. The same scarcity that makes these coins valuable also attracts scams. Never send your coin to anyone claiming to certify it for free, and never sell it to the first offer you get. Do your homework and compare offers from reputable buyers. Here's where things get even more fascinating. The value of rare coins like this doesn't just lie in their metal, it lies in timing. As demand for tangible assets grows in uncertain economic times, collectors and investors are pouring millions into numismatics. And the 1994 no-mint mark penny sits right at the intersection of nostalgia, rarity, and financial opportunity. When inflation rises and the dollar's value wavers, rare coins become a haven of stability and status. So that penny in your hand could not only change your bank balance, it could symbolize financial freedom in a world where everything else feels unstable. Let's take a moment and imagine this. You find that rare coin, you sell it, and you use that unexpected fortune to finally live the life you've dreamed of. No more worrying about bills, no more clocking into a job you hate. Maybe you finally start that business, buy that dream home, or take your family on a once-in-a-lifetime trip. All from a single coin that most people overlooked. Now, let's add a touch of humor here, because yes, it's crazy to think that the penny you dropped under your car seat last week might be worth more than your car. But that's the beautiful madness of coin collecting. It rewards the curious, the patient, and those who believe there's more value hidden in the ordinary than meets the eye. But don't click away just yet, because here's something most people don't know. The 1994 no-mint mark penny might not be the only valuable one in your collection. Some error pennies from nearby years, like 1992, 1995, and even 1998, are showing similar market surges. There's a wave coming in the coin world, and the people who act now, who take the time to search, identify, and protect their finds, will be the ones cashing in while everyone else is left wondering how they missed it. So, tonight, when you empty your pockets or glance at that old coffee can full of coins, remember this story. Somewhere among those pennies might be your golden ticket, a coin worth up to $994,000. Don't wait until stories like this are all over the news. By then, it's too late. The collectors will have already found theirs. The time to check is now. Your future wealth could literally be sitting in your hand. All it takes is one glance, one coin, one moment of curiosity. So go ahead, pick up that penny. Because sometimes the smallest things hold the greatest fortune. Imagine waking up one morning, opening that old coffee tin filled with pennies, and discovering one coin that could change your life forever. Sounds like something out of a dream, right? But for some Americans, that dream has already come true. Hidden among ordinary copper-colored coins lies the 1997 D. Lincoln penny, a small piece of metal that could be worth hundreds of thousands, even up to $1 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny, minted in 1997, that could secure your financial future. Before you roll your eyes and think, it's just a penny, Let me tell you, the coin market is full of surprises. The 1997 D. Lincoln penny, produced at the Denver Mint, is one of those rare cases where a humble coin has turned into a collector's obsession. While billions of these pennies were made, only a handful contain the unique characteristics that make them ultra-valuable. And some of them are still out there, hiding in plain sight. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The 1997 D penny is famous for several striking errors that only the trained eye or a lucky finder can spot. One of the most valuable variations is the double die obverse, where Lincoln's image or the lettering appears slightly doubled due to a minting mishap. Imagine a slight shadow behind the "In God We Trust," or a doubled outline on Lincoln's profile, subtle, but worth a fortune. These errors make collectors' hearts race, and when one appears in pristine condition, the bids skyrocket. In recent years, a near-perfect 1997 D penny with a remarkable minting error reportedly fetched an astonishing $997,000 at auction. Just think about that, less than $1 turning into nearly $1 million. The question isn't whether it could happen again. It's whether you might be the next lucky finder. But what makes these coins so rare? Well, the Denver Mint in 1997 produced over 4.6 billion Lincoln pennies. With numbers like that, you might think they're all identical. Yet, tiny mechanical misalignments during the minting process created variations so rare that maybe only a few dozen exist in top condition. And when you mix rarity with collector demand, you get a recipe for explosive value. Now, you might be wondering, how can I tell if I have one of these rare treasures? Start by examining the coin under a magnifying glass. Look for doubling on the lettering, especially Liberty and 1997. Check the D Mint mark for any unusual shapes or misplacements. If you see any signs of doubling or distortion, don't rush to clean it. Cleaning a coin can destroy its value faster than you can say, pocket change. Instead, store it safely and get it evaluated by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. And here's a little humor to lighten the mood. Yes, it's okay to grab your magnifying glass right now and start checking your change jar. You never know what might be waiting there. After all, one person's spare change could be another's early retirement plan. But let's take a moment to think deeper. Why do coins like this hold such power? It's not just the metal or the minting error. It's the story, a symbol of time, craftsmanship, and chance. Every rare coin tells a story of survival, of beating the odds, of becoming something extraordinary in a world of ordinary. And that's what makes collecting and discovering these coins so emotionally powerful. It's not just wealth. It's legacy. Of course, the coin market is like the stock market. Timing and knowledge are everything. Prices rise and fall, influenced by collector trends and scarcity. A coin that sells for $1,000 today could sell for 10 times that tomorrow. That's why it's crucial to stay informed and act fast when opportunity knocks, because opportunities like this don't wait. Let me paint a picture. Imagine holding a penny that, at first glance, looks like any other coin you might hand to a cashier. But under the right light, the details reveal a hidden fortune. A doubled letter here, a unique die mark there, signs that you've stumbled upon something extraordinary. Your heart races. You realize you're holding history and possibly your ticket to financial freedom. Now, here's a twist you might not expect. Many of the most valuable 1997 D pennies were found not by expert collectors, but by ordinary people. Teachers, retirees, mechanics, and even teenagers cleaning out piggy banks have stumbled upon these gems. That's the beauty of it. This isn't a game reserved for the rich or the elite. Anyone with a sharp eye and a bit of curiosity can win BIGSO. Before you dismiss that jar of coins sitting in your kitchen or the change tray in your car, remember this. Inside it could be a life-changing discovery. Think of it as modern-day treasure hunting, except instead of digging through dirt, you're exploring your own pocket change. But here's the catch, and this is important. These opportunities won't last forever. As more people learn about these rare 1997 D pennies, the few that remain unclaimed are being snapped up, authenticated, and locked away by collectors and investors. That means the window for ordinary Americans to find one in circulation is closing fast. Wouldn't it be something to look back one day and say, I had the chance to find one, but I didn't check? Don't let that be your story. Take a few minutes tonight. Go through your old coins. Who knows? you might be holding a small round key to a new chapter of your life. Because the truth is, wealth doesn't always come in the form of a paycheck or a lottery ticket. Sometimes it comes in the form of a penny, a 1997 D. Lincoln penny, a reminder that fortune favors the curious, the persistent, and those willing to look a little closer so the next time you get change back from your morning coffee, pause before tossing those pennies aside. That tiny coin might just be your million-dollar miracle waiting to be discovered. And as we wrap up, remember, opportunities like this don't knock twice. Stay curious, stay hopeful, and keep your eyes open, because your path to wealth might already be resting in the palm of your hand. But there's one more twist about this coin, one that even seasoned collectors didn't see coming. Stick around for our next video, because what I'm about to reveal could change everything you thought you knew about the Lincoln penny market, and it might just make your heart skip a beat. Imagine digging through a jar of old pennies, something you've had sitting in your kitchen for years, and suddenly discovering that one of those tiny copper coins could be worth not just a few dollars, but over $200,000. Sounds unbelievable, right? Yet, this has actually happened with the 2006 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny. A coin most people overlook, a coin you might have in your pocket right now, could be your unexpected ticket to financial freedom. Now, before you rush to empty every drawer in your house, let's take a journey into what makes this humble cent so extraordinary. Because understanding its true value isn't just about knowing coins, it's about recognizing opportunity when everyone else walks right past it. In 2006, billions of Lincoln pennies were minted in Denver, marked with that small D just below the date. To most, these were ordinary coins, meant to vanish into circulation, tossed into tip jars and vending machines without a second thought. But here's where it gets interesting. Among these billions, a few rare examples left the mint with astonishing errors and die variations. And those few mistakes, those tiny imperfections, have transformed some of these 1-cent coins into treasures worth up to $206,000 in today's market. You might be thinking, how could a penny be worth that much? Well, it all comes down to rarity and condition. Some 2006 D Lincoln pennies were struck with double dies, meaning parts of Lincoln's portrait or the inscriptions appear slightly doubled under magnification. Others have misaligned strikes or unique minting defects that collectors would pay a fortune for. Combine that with pristine condition, what collectors call mint state, and you've got a recipe for a coin that could pay off your car, your mortgage, or even fund your retirement. Think about that for a moment. Penny that could change your life. How many of us have ignored the coins jingling in our pockets, never realizing they might hold more value than a gold bar in disguise? But here's where the real story begins. In early 2023, one of these 2006 D Lincoln pennies, certified by a top grading company, sold for an astonishing $206,000. That's right, 1 cent transformed into a small fortune. And it didn't come from a collector's vault or museum exhibit. It came from an everyday person who took the time to look closer. Someone who saw potential where others saw pocket change. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? How many treasures like that are still out there, hiding in plain sight? Maybe in your own home, inside a jar labeled spare change, or tucked in an old wallet. The truth is, coin collecting has quietly become one of the most lucrative hobbies in America. Every year, ordinary people stumble upon coins that turn into life-changing discoveries. Some worth hundreds, others thousands, and occasionally, like this one, hundreds of thousands. So what should you look for? Start with the basics. Examine the 2006 D below the date. Look at Lincoln's portrait and the lettering under magnification, especially Liberty and In God We Trust. Do the letters look doubled or distorted? Are there any strange ridges or cracks in the surface? Even a faint variation can mean the difference between a penny worth 1 cent and one worth your next vacation home. And if you find a coin that looks unusual, don't clean it. I repeat, never clean it. Cleaning a coin can instantly destroy its value. Instead, handle it carefully, store it in a soft holder, and have it evaluated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll confirm its authenticity, grade its condition, and determine its true market value. You'd be amazed how many six-figure discoveries have started with a simple magnifying glass and a curious eye. Now, let's pause for a second. Imagine what you'd do if you found one. Would you sell it right away? or hold onto it as an investment, watching its value climb year after year. Because here's another twist, the coin market is booming. With inflation rising and the demand for tangible assets growing, rare coins are becoming a new form of wealth protection. Smart investors are quietly buying them up, knowing their value can skyrocket even more over time. And yes, that includes something as small as a penny. Here's the irony. While most people chase digital gold or trendy investments, the smartest wealth builders are looking backward into the history of money itself. The 2006 Lincoln penny is proof that value doesn't always shine at first glance. Sometimes it hides in the smallest, most ordinary objects, the ones you've been ignoring your whole life. So why is this coin worth so much now? Because it represents scarcity, beauty, and history, the three pillars of lasting value. It's not just about the metal, it's about the story. A coin like this tells the tale of a nation's craftsmanship, its mistakes, and its miracles. Every scratch, every detail becomes part of something much bigger, a symbol of how fortune can favor those who pay attention. But there's one more thing, and it's crucial. These high-value pennies are being discovered less frequently every year. The market is tightening, collectors are hoarding, and once these coins disappear into private collections, they might never resurface. If you've ever wanted to turn a simple hobby into a source of real wealth, the time to act is now. Every month that passes, the odds shrink. How many times will you look back and think, if only I checked my change when I had the chance? So tonight, when you get home, grab that old coin jar, dump it out on the table. Get yourself a magnifying glass or even your phone's camera. Take a closer look at every single penny dated 2006 with a D under it. You might find nothing, or you might find the one coin that changes everything. Because in a world where people chase quick profits, the real fortune sometimes lies right under your fingertips, in a single cent that can buy your way into a new life. And if that doesn't make you take another look at your spare change, what will?